You really need to talk to the folks here at Next Level. I've got to tell you, just speaking to the people here, they are fired up, they get it, they've got the right balance, and they're all increasing their income, they're increasing their production.
But you're dealing with people that are in the trenches dealing with this, are practitioners, had failures, had successes, learned from it, and it's about helping you not just like get through the next month, but it's about creating legacy business for yourself.
But I can tell you that you are mission focused. I know you're purpose focused, and I can tell you that every loan officer that I've communicated with that's been part of your platform has been a raving fan.
This is the Next Level Loan Officers Podcast, a proud founding member of the Real Disrupt Podcast Collaborative. You can check out more awesome podcasts at realdisrupt.com. And now, Kenneth Travis and Sean Zalmanoff.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our Next Level Loan Officers Podcast. I am Sean Zalmanoff, and today I'm joined by Jason Frazier. Guys, our podcast actually wouldn't exist in the format that it exists right now if it wasn't for Jason. Jason is Chief Strategy Officer at Equity Prime Mortgage, contributor, friend, podcast creator, a few other things for Next Level that he does to help us as well too. He creates the newsletter every week. You may know about that. Jason, I know there's 27 other things, but what am I leaving out here?
No, I mean, that's it. I mean, I do a lot of, as we always joke, and Kellen always, ribs me on that stuff about having like 27 podcasts and stuff, but I just do a lot of stuff. I'm a lover of this industry and everything in it. So I guess the one thing that is new is I sit on the board of governors for NAREP for the Southeast region. So
are you second or third generation mortgage?
I am second generation. And then my son is third generation. My son actually works here with me at EPM.
Nice. Yeah, your mom's been CEO of a company for a while too.
Yep. Since I was born. So.
Since you were born, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It kind of gets in your blood, man. Like people ask why I do this. It's like, well, there's a lot of reasons why I do it. That's not what we're here to talk about today, though. So, Jason, man, what do we want to hit on first? So, you recently, I guess you've consolidated some things by taking on this chief strategy officer. Mm-hmm. And you and I both do have one thing in common, and well, we have many things in common, but we do love this industry. The reason this podcast is created, the reason Next Level exists is to move the needle for loan officers. We want to make you relevant. We want to make us relevant. We don't want this phone and the same app that we all have, but somebody is really, really good at marketing to replace us someday. Yeah. We want to be advisors. We want to be hyper local. And man, like that is the way that we win. I know that I'm never going to compete with somebody who has billions of dollars on their market. So we don't compete on that market. We compete by being an advisor. I compete by marketing local and by giving service that somebody else can't because they just ain't here. So you want to roll on that with us today, Jason?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's an important topic because it's honestly, it's a lot of, and I want to say this is maybe about a year ago. I was listening to you on a podcast, or maybe it was when you were speaking at the mastermind event, but something that you said resonated is like, I want this industry to be here in 10 years. Like I want loan officers to have jobs in 10 years. Right. And it's something that resonated with me because I believe that wholeheartedly. And that's really a lot of what I do in this industry is that, you said it perfectly. You're not going to compete against Zillow, and that's, or Quicken and people that are doing billions of dollars. And that's what I actually wrote an article about that not too long ago, which is based off a lot of stuff that you're going to hear on these podcasts and with, the coaches here at Next Level, is that you're not going to win in the macro. You're just not, because you don't have that big marketing apparatus or that budget, but you can win in the micro, which is what Sean just talked about. And that's being local, being hyper local. That is where you can play. That's not where Quicken can play. It's not where Zillow can play. It's not where the online fintech lenders can play, but that's where not only can you play, but you could dominate if you're just willing to put in the work to do it. Right. And so that's why it's great about, being a part of Next Level and going to the events and the masterminds, and not just Next Level, but the coaches, but the members in it, because they live that every single day, is understanding what this next decade it's going to take for a loan officer to win, right? And here's the facts, guys and gals, is that we have there's two outcomes. Either Did the outside disruptors in fintech decide what the new industry is going to look like? Or we disrupt from within and reimagine this industry as the experts we should be in the trenches? And then that's what's going to win out, right? That's what we want. That's the results. Because here's the thing is like, I think unless you've been asleep over the last decade, you've seen the commodity war that's happened where all lenders are basically created equal. And then it's based off price. But I think we all know, and especially Sean, you know, that in absence of any true value, the only thing that does matter is price. And if that ends up being the narrative for our industry, then we lose, folks. We lose. And that's why being an advisor is super important, that you know that Barry talks about, something that the coaches talk about here. We got CMA, obviously, so that's important. That's why at EPM, we made that as a standard. As a loan officer, you will be a certified mortgage advisor. You will. Why? Because that's how you're going to win. And I'm tired of it. And look, I don't want to go on a rant. I don't want to go on diatribes, but I'm pissed off at seeing these people thinking that it's the same stuff over and over again. It's Groundhog Day. And you have to be better. You have to be a professional mortgage advisor. That's how you're going to win. If you're not willing to put in the work, if you're not willing to do anything, turn off the podcast, go back to doing what you're doing. But this is where winners are going to play, and this is how we're going to compete in the next decade.
So there's a concept that entered my mind, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago, maybe it was slightly longer than that. The years kind of blend together at 20-ish years in the industry now.
Yeah.
But as I saw videos, I saw technologies, I saw what was emerging, it's like, man, I firmly believe that technology is not going to replace loan officers, but loan officers that embrace technology will replace those that don't.
Correct.
And I think what you're seeing in some companies right now as well too is you're going to see that same thing. It's going to step up to the next level. Technology is not going to replace mortgage companies, but the companies that embrace technology are going to replace those that don't. Something that Shane says all the time is at some point, and I don't think this is in too far of the distant future, it's inside of the next 10 years. We're not going to measure how many bips we make on a loan. We're going to measure by the amount of dollars we make an hour. And that's really like, because there is a race to the bottom that's going on in companies. Yep. And so like, if you're not, like Jason says, man, if you're not creating value, well, then just go work at the call center or go do something else, because that's the only place that you're going. Now, the cool thing is with a lot of these companies, it still takes men and women to run them. Like, as much as they want to put technology in place, there's too much stuff that goes on inside of a loan right now that fintech can't handle. And as you position yourself as that advisor, as you market locally, like, here's the deal. Like, let's just pick on Quicken. You know, their goal at, I think, 25% market share of all the loans is what they want. You know, Zillow probably wants 97%. So I think 25 plus 97 is way more than 100. The thing is like, they need to move the needle 500, 1,000, 2,000 loans a month in order to have any impact on their bottom line.
Yeah.
You just think about what you make on a loan right now or what you make an hour. Like, man, if I had 10 more hours in a week, if I had 3 more loans that I closed a month, I mean, how many years does that move up your retirement?
Yeah.
What house do you live in? What neighborhood do you live in? Where do you get to send your kids to school? And that is where we are. That's where we're thinking. And that's the difference in competing with those guys or not. And I mean, the cool thing is, if you don't know this about Next Level, like the biggest thing is there's guys like me, Jason, a bunch of us that are in the trenches. To be plugged into all of us, like less than a loan a year is what it costs to become a member of our tribe, to get plugged in to our family. So if the things we say, if what we do resonates with you, reach out, support at nextlevello.com. You can go to nextlevello.com. You can find a million ways to contact us on Facebook or somewhere else and plug in. Get what you need, or just keep listening to the podcast. If we're doing enough to move the needle in your business here, then that works as well too. Just do something to make yourself relevant, or have that plan to exit. Jason, man, you have a strategy that I use, that a whole bunch of people that I know, why everybody doesn't use this strategy is beyond me. but it's like one of the simplest little things that you can do. You want to tell a loan officer who's like, man, I don't have a marketing budget. I don't have this. I don't have that. Like less than 5 hours. Once you get it set up, less than 5. I'm sorry, I said 5 hours, less than 5 minutes a week. What tell them about this just guerrilla ninja, amazing marketing strategy that they could implement literally today.
Are you talking about the $2 a day?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's look, and a lot of it, it's upfront work, right? But look, if you're not spending $2 a day on Facebook, even now, and look, I've been talking about this for a while.
It used to be the $1 a day strategy.
Yeah, it used to be the $1, but now, for Facebook, they're dealing with the pandemic too, right? So they got to raise their prices. But you still can get some lift from that. But here's the thing is that loan officers always think, and Sean said it perfectly, like you can't be tripped over that one loan. If you're worried about if you're a one loan officer, then guess what? You're going to be a one loan officer, right? You got to think about it in the aggregate, right? Think about what you're going to get, because it also helps you from killing yourself every day and working the hours that you take you away from other things that are more important in your life that you're never going to get back. You could make millions of dollars, but that's not going to buy you any more time. And so you need to think about that. But getting back to the strategy, $2 a day, it's the easiest ad you're going to run on Facebook. You don't have to worry about targeting. You don't have to worry about anything. Is that you're just doing a video and you're just blasting your market to it. And of course, the immediate question I get is like, well, how do I get in loans? How am I talking about rates? How am I talking about loan programs? So here's the thing. It may hurt you to hear this, but the consumer does not care about mortgages. In fact, they hate mortgages. They hate what we do, right? But they love being a homeowner. They love having a house. And so we're needed, right? So we need to focus on the goals. Stop focusing on the stuff that doesn't really matter to them, right? It's a need, and that's important within itself, but focus on their goals and their needs and their wants and their dreams. If we do that as mortgage professionals, we're going to have all the business that we can handle. The problem is we don't. We always go right to rates, right? Even, it's funny, everyone tells me they don't sell rates, they sell service, right? Sean, I know you've heard that to death. I've heard that to death. But guess what? As soon as rates hit, what are you seeing on Facebook? Rates in the 2s, rates in the low 3s, rates. And so all of a sudden everyone's selling rates, right? You got to sell the dream. You got to sell the reason why people want. There's a before state and an after state. And you do that with the $2 a day strategy. One is you got to get their attention, right? They got to know who you are. Your rates could be 0%. If the consumer doesn't know that you exist, it does not matter. If you're closing in 10 days, fantastic. If the consumer does not know who you are, it does not matter. So the $2 a day strategy is simply about building awareness in your local market. You just spend $2 a day. You don't do any target. You just simply create a video on your phone vertically and talk about something that you think people are going to care about where they live. Because guess what? People care about where they live. My friends, I have spent years looking at consumer direct marketing. I ran consumer direct marketing for 2 years, and I could tell you with factual evidence that consumers do not care about mortgage terms or rates unless it is something they're thinking about right now. And that isn't going to be the case right now. But if you talk about stuff that's going in your local market, if you talk about like maybe a restaurant that's doing curbside, maybe a restaurant that's struggling and that you're trying to help them out, the more that you're part of your community, again, we talked about winning in the micro, which is being that local expert. This is how you do it. $2 a day strategy. Spend $60 a month just blanketing your market with videos of you so people could know who you are, hear your voice, see your face. Alan Christian, right? Who's, another coach here at Next Level. He's been on many of these podcasts. He talks about that. That's how he's become the mayor of Roswell, the ambassador of Roswell that he puts in his stuff. He's actually going to be speaking at our Broker Success Summit because of this, because of what he talks about in Next Level. And the reason why? Because it works. It works, ladies and gentlemen. It just does. So the $2 a day strategy, it's super simple. And people are like, well, if it's so simple, guess what? Why aren't you doing it right now? And most of the people that are listening to this podcast or watching it on YouTube, you're not doing it. And this is why it's such a great strategy. Loan officer A, B, and C are not going to do it. I guess C, D, and E are not doing it. B loan officer A, that is. Most of we all know 1%, 5% are the only people that are actually going to take what they hear on these podcasts or coming to the events are going to actually implement this stuff. This is how you win, right? And it's so simple to do. And if you want to learn how to do it, join Next Level. I'll be happy. In fact, I think I've already have it in there. If not, we'll do it. I'll show it to you. It's a winning strategy. And just like with Next Level, I'm here to help you guys win.
Yeah. I mean, if you wanted to, you can just sign up with the coaching call for Jason for an hour. And during that hour, he can set everything up for you. So
Yeah,
all
it doesn't
you have
take that
to
long.
do is go upload and run it and do it. And Jason, you said too, you said hold the camera, or you said hold it vertically.
Yep. Vertically. And the reason why, and some people don't think about this, they think about, well, it needs to be horizontal because it needs to be professional. No. Here's the thing is that if you're scrolling in your feed, think about how you are as a human being. If you're scrolling and you see a vertical video, it's going to think like, oh, this is someone's doing a story or someone's just talking or whatever. So they'll stop on that. As soon as it goes horizontal, it looks like it's a professional commercial or ad. People don't purposely want to watch ads unless it's the Super Bowl, right? That's the only time that ever happens. Or someone like shares something, oh, you got to check out like the Dollar Shave Club ad or something like that. That's when people look for it. When they're on Facebook, you got to understand there's two things in marketing that you should understand. One is intent and interruption. From a marketing standpoint, most of what we do is interrupting, right? Sean's on Facebook. He's probably not looking for ads, right? He's probably looking for just either, to unwind his brain from the day, or he's just looking to see what his friends and family are doing, right? Or other coworkers.
On there, if Smartwool doesn't target me and make me buy a new shirt or pants, damn them.
It's like, man, I want to buy something, right? And when it's vertical, it looks like it doesn't look like an ad. And guess what? This is the reason why it takes up a majority of most of the browsing on Facebook is done via your mobile. I think it's like 92% is done on your phone. So take up most of the screen, right? You want to have your face take up that whole screen. And then it's like, I want to say it's like 65% of the screen when it's in the feed. And when they tap on it, guess what? It's 100% of the screen. When it's vertical, you don't make the user do anything. People were like, well, no. People don't want to do that. That's along with attention span. We're also like, hey, don't make us do anything that we don't have to do. If I have to move my arm a certain way, as lazy and as lame as that may sound, humans don't want to have to be told to do something they don't naturally want to do. They just want to hold it. Oh, cool. Boom. 100% of the screen, vertical video. It's not going to look like an ad, so more people will watch it. And look, data's behind it, right? So there's no debate on this. There's no, well, I don't like that or my audience doesn't do that. I'm just going to tell you you're wrong because you are, and because humans are wrong most of the time. It's just not your comfort level. It's not your comfort level. It's not how you think. But trust me, like this is what I do, and I wouldn't do it if it didn't work.
It's funny you talk about, it's not the way humans work, man. I mean, we're as loan officers, we're a special breed of human.
Yeah, exactly.
And although some of the loans we do are pretty difficult and might feel like rocket science.
Yeah.
Our jobs, there's a lot of stress in them. I'm not saying they're not hard, but they're not that hard. Like it's just not that hard to do what we do.
Yeah.
Does it take a certain kind of person? Does it take work ethic to take these things? So, I mean, I'm not discrediting you. I'm not discrediting me in saying that, folks. I'm just again, in the amount of skill that it takes, like it's not that hard. But the thing that we do as loan officers, Jason said that, but that doesn't work. Or I know he said that, but I mean, I'm going to hold my phone this way. Man, I ran that ad for 3 days. I spent $6. Jason doesn't know what he's talking about. Like, we make things so hard on ourselves. I mean, I'll tell you, I'll give you a little tip that we use all the time inside of my teams and what I tell my loan officers in Next Level is we're using a ton of the real estate report card inside of MBS Highways. And you can put specific for MSA, or you can even dive down deeper into zip codes where things often change. We're sending those reports to realtors. I've loan officers that are doing that right now. I mean, like, dude, I sent that to 43 agents. Man, I had 3 reach out and I already got 2 deals, and somebody asked me to speak at their office next week. I'm like, yeah, it's just not that hard. We create this environment where everything has to be so hard and we have to do so much. And you're talking about Alan Christian, who's just, I was going to say he's the bomb, and he's actually like literally one of the bomb's biggest influencers for a few years running now. Yeah. And he would I happen to have the pleasure of personally coaching him too. And so often it's like, hey man, what about this? What about that? I'm like, can you handle the business you're getting from video and Facebook? No? Cool. Well, let's just keep pouring more gas on that until you can't handle that anymore. You just don't need to do anything else. And that's the thing. It's like, so you guys are going to do this video. and you're going to do a couple of them. Jason, I mean, we change it out weekly, we try to do it weekly, but at least every other week. And for the target, man, let's just give them the tip. You just like target, if you happen to live in St. Louis, like I use, target St. Louis. Just as simple as that.
Yeah. Wherever you happen to be, where your market is, find the center of town, or what makes sense for like houses, suburbs, that type of stuff, and put a pin in it and then run your ad there.
And that's it.
That's it. You don't do any other demographics. And just the question I always get is like, well, what about, I don't want an age range that goes down to like 13 to 18. Guess what? They're not on Facebook. They ain't going to watch your video. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, 14-year-olds don't know what Facebook is. It's I mean, completely random, but it's just a thought that has popped into my head. So I was in college when 9/11 happened. And some of my friends, my children are a little younger, but some of my friends have kids that they're in high school, they're graduating high school. And it was crazy because like 9/11 is something they read about in a history book. Like I can't imagine that people are alive today. I mean, millions of people are alive today that weren't born when 9/11 happened. Yeah. And so like, we can't, like we always think about it. It's me in this situation. Like just stop making it complicated. Just do it. And then the other thing that happens that I was going to mention, you do this, you have a little bit of success, you do what Jason did. And you're like, all right, well now I got to go. I got to run off to the next thing. I got to do this other strategy. And that is it's the kiss of death. Like we find something that works. And then instead of pouring gas on it, you stop and you do something else.
Yeah.
Story of our lives as loan officers, huh?
Absolutely. Right. And look, one thing that I want you guys to take away from this is the complexity is the enemy of execution. It just is. Right. So instead of doing
that again, that's write this down, everybody.
Complexity is the enemy of execution. You will make it so complex. You will get in your head. You will overthink it to death. In fact, Alan even talked about that for him trying to get in the video where he did that. And it took you guys to kind of knock some sense into him for him to finally get on and execute. And had he not done that, and he'll tell you himself, his business would not be in what it is today. So stop making it difficult. And it's not. And here's the thing. If you screw up, who cares? Nobody cares. Like just start doing and guess what? I'll tell you right now, you go and do a video right now. I guarantee you, if you screw up or something happens, a truck drives by, whatever happens, you do that and then do a nice polished video. I guarantee you that video that was screwed up or bloopers or whatever will get 10 times the views and engagement than the one that was perfectly polished in a studio. Guarantee it.
Well, hey, folks, if you want to continue the conversation with us, if you want to see what's on the other side, again, you can go to nextlevello.com. You can email support@nextlevello.com. You can reach out to one of us. We would love to help you get to where you want to be and make your life better. And that's just what it's all about. So whether it's us, whether it's someone else, whether it's just something you need to do differently to make your life better, just be better than the person you were yesterday. And you just can't ask for much better than that. Jason, as always, man, for all the things you do for us in the mortgage community, I appreciate you. Hey, dude, if somebody has been living under a rock and doesn't know about your newsletter, how do they just go and sign up for that real quick?
Yeah, so go to mortgagexpodcast.com and there's a link there, just a simple way to sign up for it. It's called the letter X. And, I'll share some tidbits that I get from the Next Level coaches in there and some inspiration, some motivation. That's, to me, it's all about helping you guys win. It comes out every Monday morning. It's called Monday is for Winners is the theme. And letter X, go there.
Awesome. Jason, appreciate you. Friends listening, peace out, y'all. We appreciate you too.